Alright, shalom, shalom. Alright, first and foremost, I'd like to begin by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Alright, double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone and shalom to all the brothers around the four corners of the earth. That teaching is good gospel and all sincerity and in all truth. Alright, shalom, this is brother Ramya here. Ramya, back with another lesson, alright, and this could be, part two. Further continuing, touching on if our gospel be hid, it be hid to them that are lost. Because we're in the precept right now, so we could just read it over. And it have a precept I wanted to actually search up and go into. Right? Words of this world. And yes. Hey, wait. Right, the same thing that is the next verse. Wow. That is spirit. I didn't know that was right, literally the next verse. Right? I didn't know. Right, so we go just read the verse 3 and verse 4 again, and we go follow on that, right? So it says so this could be part 2 to if our gospel be hid, it be hid to them that are lost. It says 2 Corinthians 4 and 3 says, but if our gospel be hid, it be hid to them that are lost. And how they are lost? In whom the God of this world had blinded the minds of them which believe not. So they are blinded. They get completely brainwashed by Esau, Edom and them. They got completely brainwashed. Because that was the great, whitewashing. What did they do? Heathens and them. Esau and them. Right? The great, whitewashing. Where they painted their own pictures. Because remember it says he covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And we know who he is now, because it's not a secret to us. Right? And they are the ones who, painted, their own image. Right? And change it. And they completely brainwash the people. Right? That's what they do. They completely brainwash the people. Right? There's no fast seconds here. Right? That's what they do. They completely brainwash the people. Right? In whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them. They blinded them. Right? They make them, believe a lie. Right? Because to tell a lie, I don't know the truth. And they know the true power. Right? The true God, Yahweh Shemeshai. That is not his real color. They know. Right? Because they know the scriptures. They put little hints in movies and these different things. So they know the scriptures. It says thou art wiser than Daniel, Ezekiel 28. Right? Thou art wiser than Daniel. Do a diligent search. And that's how they bring this new image. Right? And the brainwash the people and make them believe a lie. Right? And to whatever we did believe in that lie, but to whatever the Lord wake us up. And we don't believe in that lie anymore. Right? We serve in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and sincerity and in truth. Striving to be a part of the Lord's elect. So we not, we're not brainwashed anymore. The Lord wake us up to this light. Right? But the gospel is still hid to them because blinded. Because they are blinded. Right? And that's what it says. If our gospel be hid to them that are lost. And they are lost. Right? Because the Lord didn't shine his light on them. Right? He did not shine his light on them. They are in the darkness, like the scripture says. We are of Yahweh and the whole world light and wickedness, which is darkness as well too. Right? And it says, in whom, verse 4 again, it says, in whom the God of this world had blinded the minds of them, right, which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who's the image of Yahweh, should shine on them. Right? And the glorious gospel, right, what the Lord has given us, this truth, which we push in, it have not, the Lord didn't reveal it unto them. He didn't shine his light on them. And I was just saying, I didn't even know that is how the scripture was going to end. Right? I didn't even know that. So that's just, the spirit. Right? I go into next. Right? GNT Bible. Right? 2 Corinthians 4 And verse 3 it says, in the GNT it says, for if the gospel we preach is hidden, it is hidden only from those who are being lost. And they are lost. They are lost. They are lost in the flesh, and they are, they love the lust of the flesh. Okay, that is two lusts. Right? That literally word lust. Well, that is a different word. That the word lust, right? Because they lusting over the flesh, and then that the word lost. They're like you're lost. You're like you can't find your way, right? And that is them, right? So the lust, because they in the lust of the flesh, the love the lust of the flesh and the lust. The Lord, just blinded them. That it says, cause the heart of this people. We'll go to that, Isaiah 6 and 9, we'll go to that. Because all that's going into, the Lord has blinded them so that they cannot understand this way this gospel is hid from them. Right? So while I haven't bring out that scripture in Isaiah 6 and 9, so we could go to it. Right? So it says, verse 4 in the GNT, they do not believe because their minds have been kept in the dark. See that? So that's why they don't believe, because they are in the darkness. Right? By the evil power, or the evil, by the evil god of this world. Right? Because you have a god of this world. Right? And that is Esau and them that create this image. Right? This fake image and brainwash everyone. Right? That is what you do. Right? Totally brainwash everyone. I think it talks about that in 1st or 2nd Thessalonians. We'll go to all that, right? And it says, right? He keeps them from seeing the light, right? Shining on them the light that comes from the good news about the glory of Hamashiach, who is the exact likeness of Yahweh. So the Lord didn't shine his light on them. They are in the darkness still. The Lord didn't reveal it unto them. Oh, he did not shine his light unto them. They are in the darkness still. Right? Like the scripture say in John as well too. Make my own words any GNT. Make me remember the John 1. Right? John 1 and John 1 and verse 5, it says, and the light shineth in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. And that's Yahweh Shai, when he came into the world, because he's the way, the truth, and the life, and the light. Right? I think this type of scripture says the light of men as well. Right? And then it says, right, I read on. It says, the same came for a witness to bear witness of that light. So like verse 6, it says, there was a man sent from Yahweh whose name was John. The same came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. Right, and that what John came, bearing that light. And that light is Yahweh Shai. Right? The same came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all men. So like I read already, verse 8. He was not the light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. And who's that light? That light is Yahweh Shai. So John, he was, sent to, bear witness of that light. He was not the light himself, because Yahweh Shai is the light, right? And then it says, verse 9, that was the true light which light every man that cometh into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. And that's Yahweh Shai. So they didn't know the way of truth. They didn't know the way of righteousness, because they didn't take heed. They didn't know that was the Lord as well too. They didn't even know that. Right? They didn't even know that. Now it says, and light shined in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. They didn't understand that was Yahweh Shai, and that he was the light, and that they should follow him. They didn't understand that. Right? They really didn't understand that. Right? And likewise now, the Lord is not, in the flesh no more. Right? But the Lord leaves behind his prophets, and his prophets is the one that bear we are the prophets. Because the scripture say the spirits are the prophets. And guys, in 1 Corinthians 14, I think. Right, the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Right? So the prophets come back today as well. Right? The prophets come back today. Right? So we, just like how John was, was preaching and bearing witness, of that light, right, which was Yahushai. We come in to do the same thing. We bearing witness of that light, which is Yahushai. We is not the light, but the light have shined on us. Tawara Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, which is Yahushai, right? So it says, he came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them he gave power to become the sons of Yahweh, even them that believe on his name, which will be the elect. So he came unto his own people, and they didn't even, as it says, they didn't even receive him. Right? Beautiful scripture. Right? So where was I? Right? So the light, the Yahweh is that light, and the Lord didn't shine on them. The light, the Lord didn't shine his light on them. The Lord didn't, shine his light on them. He didn't, he didn't reveal it unto them. He just leave them to be blinded. And that's what we're gonna go to the Isaiah 6 and 9. Right, Isaiah 6 and 9, it says, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not, and see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed. So make the heart of this people fat, and the heart is the mind, the lab, right? Because your heart is not literally where you go put your hand by your chest and you go feel it beating. That is not your heart. Your heart is your mind, which is your lab in Hebrew. Right? And that's what the Lord blinded their minds so that they couldn't understand, that they could never understand this way. The Lord blinded their eyes so that they can't, right? They can't understand this way, right? As it says, right in 9, right? Go and tell these people, hear ye indeed, they hear the prophets, but they don't understand, right? And see ye indeed, but perceive not. So they don't see the prophets, but they don't understand what them really about. What they really about. They don't understand. Right? And that is the Lord, have his angels. The Lord gave his angels charge over that, to open minds that they could understand. And I did lessons on that a while back. I could bring it back up in the spirit again. Because the angels have charge over that. Right? If, this man, mind will be open, or if it will be, if he will just be keep, blinded. Right? The angels, are in charge of that. Right? And that's what the angels do. They make the heart of the people fat so that they could not understand this way. Right? So, as it says, if our gospel be hid, it be hid to them that are lost. And that's part 2, And this lesson could go, this series could go, it could turn into a series, I could do way more lessons on this, touching on this. Right? Let me see if I can get that scripture I was thinking before. Right? I think it's 2 Thessalonians 2. Right, now that's it, right? So with that, I want to give all praises, all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakadash. Alright, pray it was edifying to the Lord's elect. As I always say, Shalom, 1 Corinthians 15:58. Always abounding in the work of the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, because as you know, your labor in the Lord is not in vain. Alright, brother, stay strong, and Shalom. Until the next one.